Governing law, jurisdiction, and venue. Governing law, very, very important. Governing law is what jurisdiction covers the contract, meaning what law are you going to apply to the contract itself. So, for example, if you are a company and you are selling products everywhere in the US, so you have clients New York, you have clients in California, you have clients outside of the country, even. What law will apply if there is a problem with the contract? And you get to choose that. You get to choose that. If I say I want Florida law to go ahead and govern that contract because my company is in Florida, my attorney is in Florida, my witnesses are in Florida, I want everything to be in Florida,
Right.
then you get to choose that. And the companies that you sign this contract with, where you're supplying services or goods, are going to also sign to that. And they are then contractually, they're agreeing that if there's any lawsuit or anything, we're going to use Florida law. If on the flip side, if you're getting a contract from a company, a bigger company that's in California or New York or whatever, check what that law is. That the governing law, it's usually closer to the end of the contract. Check what that governing law is. Because if the governing law, for example, is in New York, you're not going to be able to use a Florida attorney to help you. You're probably going to have to hire someone in New York, go to New York to the hearings. Well, now they do it on Zoom, but
Oh,
if you
nice.
you know if you have to defend yourself, you're probably
Mm-hmm.
going to have to go to New York. You're going to have to take your witnesses to New York if you have to end up having, like, witness statements or whatnot. And it may become expensive. You have to take your product to New York. If you're taking product as evidence, it might turn out to be a little
Wow.
bit more expensive for you, but sometimes that's how it is, and you sign these contracts. And I've gotten so many contracts from clients that they want me to do contract reviews for them, which I'm fine with doing that. And the very first thing I point out is this contract is for Illinois, or this contract is for, sometimes it's out of the country. And I go, I can't review and recommend anything for this contract until you tell me you have a Florida contract, because then I'm licensed in Florida and I can help you in Florida.
Right.
But if it's a contract for someone else, for another state, I can tell you what my thoughts are, but in an abundance of caution, you still have to get an attorney from that state because the laws are different state to state and country to country. So you still would have to get someone locally to be able to take a look at that. Governing law becomes so, so, so important because you sign contracts and you don't think about it and you don't know what it means. And then you have committed your company to going somewhere else to be able to defend yourself.
Right.
Jurisdiction and venue, that's another way of saying, like, where is the case going to be handled. If my company is in Broward County, I might put Broward County, Florida. If it's in Miami Dade, I might put Miami Dade. It's just where are you going to actually take this case? Where is it that you're going to file a lawsuit if you have to file? That's what I mean by venue. It's like literally venue as in the location that it's going to be in. The other part of the governing law, jurisdiction, and venue, it
Mm-hmm.
almost always accompanies where I write what type of dispute resolution you want, whether you want
Okay.
mediation, arbitration, litigation, or a mixture of all of them. And we sort of talked about that in one of our shows before. But
Right.
if you do mediation, it's a different legal concept than doing arbitration and litigation. Most people know litigation because that's the "I'll see you in court," type of language, where you file the lawsuit and the other party has 20 days to answer. You go before your attorneys get together, you go before a judge and you plead your case. And that's traditionally what litigation is. Mediation is different. You go to a mediator, you try to hash it out. Sometimes with small claims cases, the judge will immediately send you to mediation anyway because he thinks you can go ahead and just work this out. Arbitration is also different. It's more structured than mediation in the way that the arbitrator is the one making the decision.
Okay.
Mediation is different. If you go to mediation, you have to come up with some sort of solution for the mediation to have worked, right? You have to come up with some sort of solution. Small claims court is currently, it's under $8,000 in Florida. I don't know what it is for the other states, but it raised to $8,000. So if you have a dispute $8,000 and below, then you're going to be sent to small claims court to be able to do
Okay.
that. Now, the good thing about small claims court and small business ownership is that you can represent your own company. You can represent your own company as a business owner in small claims court. Everything above $8,000, you have to get an attorney to represent you in court
Okay.
if you're a small business. You can't say like, me, Lisa, I own the company and I'm here to tell you everything that this other person didn't do and I have all the evidence. If it's above small claims court, the judge isn't going to let you do that. You need an attorney. If it's below small claims court, that's usually when the judge is. I've seen it so many times when it's a small business dispute and they see the complaint and they see the answer, they'll just send you to mediation and say, I feel like you guys can just work this out. I don't need to take it to trial. I don't need to do any of that. Just try to work it out. But in
Okay.
mediation, you do have to agree for it to be what I consider a successful mediation, meaning that you come to a conclusion. Arbitration is different. Arbitration, you do have someone who is making the decision for you if it's binding arbitration. And that's sort of like going to court, but it's a different mechanism that you're using. And then also with arbitration, sometimes clients would prefer that because it's private, it's not public record, the way
Okay.
litigation is. So you have a privacy factor. And it's sort of like outside of the I'll see you in court type of atmosphere. And you can
Yeah.
choose your arbitrators, you can choose an association that does it. I have here a sample that I've written where I'm using the American Arbitration Association. So there's different associations that you can contact, and you have a say in like who you're picking and how many arbitrators and all that.
Okay.
So that's more
Good.
like in the middle of mediation and litigation. But all of that goes with when I write the type of dispute resolution is where I write the governing law, the venue, and all of that sort of goes together in a contract. The content on Minding Your Business is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as specific legal advice. This show discusses general legal issues affecting business owners. Opinions of the guests are not necessarily that of the show. If you need assistance with your specific legal issue, please consult with a licensed attorney.